Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Our first order of business is to organize, and I'd like to nominate Brian for chair.
Second. Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Vice chair?
I will nominate Dennis.
I'll second. Larry, will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the clerk?
As long as the clerk doesn't do anything.
Patty is taking minutes, so we'll be just reviewing the minutes with.
Yeah. I'll nominate Larry.
Larry. Okay, I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Nay. What good does it count?
Mr. Bryan.
All right. So we are here today to review the responses for the owner's project manager request for services that was put out on June 1st. To date, we had 29 inquiries, 29 different firms that put in inquiries and pulled the specifications that were written. It's a 70-page document. We had, I believe, 7 of those firms, and we'll forward you a list of the firms that did come to a voluntary walkthrough. Larry was present. So there were 7 firms represented that came to the voluntary walkthrough, and we have 7 responses here today. So they are still sealed. I have not opened them up. So according to the schedule, we would be reviewing them before the 21st of June in order to get 3 finalists. And then those 3 finalists would be interviewed on the 24th. Again, this is a tentative schedule that we put into the specifications. We would negotiate with the selected respondent by the 28th. And then we have a full Pine Grove School Building Committee meeting on Friday, July 1st. And that would be the time this subcommittee would bring a recommendation for a finalist or for an OPM to award a contract for that OPM with a negotiated fee. Again, just to confirm, so this is an RFS or an RFP process. So we're evaluating qualifications and then negotiating price. Unlike other products or other processes where transportation for the school, for example, it's a sealed bid. We put out the specifications we need. We provide, or responders provide sealed bids. It's the lowest responsive and responsible bidder that we choose. We have to have a reason not to select them.
Right.
So an RFS or an RFP process allows us much more leeway, and it allows us to say, here's who we want, and then negotiate the price with them based on qualifications. So that is our job today. If the committee is still willing to spend some time today, I guess, depending on how long it takes, we can obviously recess and post another meeting. I could possibly Monday, I guess, would probably be the soonest we could post for. Could you do Monday? Today's Thursday. Could do it later in the day Monday if we needed to, but hopefully we can work through this today and come to the 3 finalists so that we can set up those interviews. So does that sound like a way forward?
Sounds
All
good.
right. So I have a few papers here. So I'm going to pass around these around. So this literally are excerpts right from the specifications as they were printed and put out to the public. So again, just to remind everyone, these are the requirements. Obviously, there was lots of information within the requirements, or within the specifications, but these are the requirements that we said in order to be is a responsive and responsible. A responsive bidder or responder is someone who meets all of the criteria we laid out. We said it has to be no more than 20 pages. It has to be on 8.5 by 11 paper. It has to be, and we listed what it has to be. So a responsive bidder is someone who responds accurately to what we requested. A responsible bidder is based on their performance. So when we check references, when we go back and do some research on the firms, that's getting at the responsibility of the firm. This first document just takes from the specifications, what we said the minimum criteria are. So it's in order to be eligible, they have to certify these items in their cover letter. They have to designate someone as the project director. They have to be certified as an MCPPO within the state. And then it says the project director shall be a person who is registered by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts as an architect or professional engineer who has at least 5 years' experience in the construction supervision of construction and design of public buildings, or if not registered as an architect or professional engineer, the project director must be a person who has at least 7 years' experience in the construction and supervision of construction and design of public buildings. And again, just to clarify, these are requirements pulled right out of the designer selection laws for the Commonwealth. This is not information we're making up. So those are the minimum. Person has to obviously be qualified. We put 4 additional forms. There's an attestation clause, there's an assurance of non-discrimination, certification of non-collusion, and a statement of understanding. Those are basically forms that says you're not discriminating, you're not colluding with any other vendors, and those 4 forms have to be included and signed in order for them to be considered responsive. Over the page, I won't read these, but basically this is the content that we said has to be in the document. They had to submit 10 copies. There are 5 of us, plus a record, so there's 6. We have to submit 2 to the MSBA, original copies. And I said 2 more just in case, you never know where the town needs official copy, the school district needs an official copy. So they had to provide 10 official copies of their responses. So those scary piles behind me include 10 copies, not just 1 copy. So this, again, this is just the responses as far as the content that had to be included. And then over the page is the meat of what we'll be doing today, and this is the evaluation criteria that we outlined. I have tabulation sheets that we'll use that will record how each of us want to rank each of these qualifications. So again, let me just walk through these. So the evaluation criteria, the first one is past performance of the respondent. We said 5 points awarded for their ability to document performance on previous projects. B is satisfactory working relationship with designers and contractors. And again, some of this will be, we're asking them to provide this information in their responses. So these aren't things we have to go digging for. We should have this information. So we said combined, their past experience and performance is worth 10 cumulative points. Thorough knowledge of the Mass Building Code was worth 5 points. Thorough knowledge of Commonwealth construction procurement laws, worth 5 points. Management approach, again, I'm not going to read the whole paragraph, but that's worth 25 points. Obviously, that is a big, that's the crux of what they'll be doing for us. Key personnel, number 5, is worth 15 points. So they're basically outlining who they're going to use from their firm on this project. We want to see that they are using high-level, skilled individuals, not lower-level, newer, fresh out of trainees, interns in this project, and that's how they're going to arrive at a fair price. We want to know that they're putting their highly qualified folks on this project. Capacity and skills, again, identifying existing employees where they have the skill sets, that's worth 10 points. Respondent's current and projected workload, worth 5 points. Familiarity with any CHPS and the U.S. Green Buildings Council, the LEEDs. So these are all energy efficiency qualifications. That's worth 5 points. Thorough knowledge and demonstrated experience with life cycle costs. Obviously, that's a key point as we look to develop a building. We want to be able to look into the future in life cycle costs. That's worth 10 points. A knowledge of the purpose and practices of the building commissioning consultants, worth 5. and then financial stability. Obviously, we want to know that this is a firm that we're not going to contract with, and they're going to dissolve in the next 6 months, because ideally, what we'll be entering, the school building committee and the town will be entering into a contract for the feasibility and design, and schematic design. But part of this response is that the ability to continue with that, the OPM through the construction period. That's the goal. You don't want to have one designer, an owner's project manager, do the first part in the studies and then have to change. It happens, but ideally we want someone who manages the entire project.
Right.
So, any questions on that? Does that make sense? All right. So, I think we are just about ready to just jump in. Let me give you this. This is, again, just it's an excerpt from the specifications, but I just pulled it out as a separate page. And this is the selection process and schedule, just to make sure we're on the record here with this. So again, we advertised back in late May, on May 26th. On June 1st, I'm at the bottom of this first page. June 1st, the advertisement appeared in the Central Register and local papers. Over the page, we had the voluntary visit on June 6th. Last day for questions was last week, last Friday. Responses were due yesterday, June 15th. And again, we have 7 that we've received. We have to shortlist and determine finalists by the June 21st. We're meeting here today to do that. That gives us a little more time if we do need to post another meeting. By the 24th, interview those shortlisted respondents. Again, we want to shortlist 3. By the 28th, negotiate with that finalist, that selected respondent, to come to an agreement that we would recommend to the full school building committee. And then we have that not on the schedule is the school building committee meets on July 1st to approve that. And then that would be submitted to the MSBA with a significant bank of paperwork that will document the process that we undertook. That goes to the MSBA, that they have a couple weeks to review it, and then it goes before their MSBA, their OPM review panel. That meets on the 1st of August, and then by August 3rd, 2 days following, they would give us the clearance to execute the contract with the OPM of choice. Joe, I will defer to you as far as signing of contracts, I believe is you as the CEO.
Right.
So I don't believe that has to go back to the selectmen. They appointed
No.
this body or the
That's
full
correct.
school building committee. Okay. So that we will coordinate to make sure that you are available for the magic signature on or around August 3rd. So any questions about that? Good, not a lot of questions. So, if you want to, I'm going to pass this pile around. Give everyone 7. So there are 7 respondents. So passing around now is a pile of pages that looks similar to what you saw as the rating. You need 7 of these, Chris, because we're going to go through. Or you can take one for now, and we can just have a pile of them. It's we'll fill out. Everyone will fill out one of these for each of the respondents. So you'll see on this page, it's basically the same evaluation criteria, but I turned it into a rating scale. So the way this will work, each of us will rate a firm individually. We'll then collectively decide, agree on what we think the number of points should be. And then, so we could do this one of 2 ways. We could each rate all of the 7, or we can take one, each get a copy, spend some time reviewing that one, agree that one, move on to the next. I would suggest that's probably the easiest.
I would think. yeah.
Okay, so we'll just go through one at a time. So again, if you can record the name of the firm, your name, the date and time that you're reviewing it. The 3 questions at the top. in order for the bidder or the responder, I keep saying bidder, it's a responder, not a bidder. In order for the responder to be considered responsive, they have to answer, we have to be able to answer yes on all three of these.
Maybe collectively on these.
I think so, yeah, I think we can do that, we can get it, we can look through, are these, is firm A responsive? Yes, they are, yes, 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 and then we can move on. The first one, we'll kind of work our way through it, ask questions, probably not going to make for incredibly exciting television, but we'll work our way through the first one, and I'm assuming by the second one, we'll get our groove a little bit and move from there. Make
Sounds
sense? We ready? You want to grab the first one? In no specific order. Yeah. I think we have scissors. It's easier. Cutting the pins off on television. The good thing is it has a tab and they pulled it off. So I just want to save the date. Can you tell me the date that that was received in the box there?
Received on June 14th at 10:30 PM, it says. Or AM, it's PM too.
Okay. So we have. So they did provide 10 copies. This is Hill International, this is the first. So there's 4 copies. I just want to send one to Patty. Okay. I'm going to put the extras back on. It's 6/16/16. Okay, so again, as your guideline, there was this stapled paper that shows the requirements. If we want to go through the minimum requirements.
So it looks like you meet the project director.
I was just going to say, so we've assigned project director David Billings, AIA, lead GA, and MCPPO with 30 years of experience. So we will say they've met the minimum specifications. Everyone agree there?
Yep.
Okay.
Additional forms.
So the 4 additional forms. If you look at the last 4 pages of the proposal, they did include all 4 forms, including attestation, assurance of non-discrimination, non-collusion, and a statement of understanding.
Okay, looks good.
So then content. It's typewritten.
Attachment C. What?
Did you bring a copy of the original specs? You didn't, did you?
Oh, yeah, I do. I did.
Well, attachment C was
It's this form.
It's that form, okay.
Right here.
Gotcha,
It's-
okay. So yes, they brought attachment C. And just to confirm, I didn't mention that there was no addenda. We did not issue any addenda following, either for a correction to the specifications or to clarify any questions after the walkthrough. There were certainly questions asked about the facility, but nothing that warranted issuing a formal agenda that would have changed the scope or design or the intent of the specifications.
Is that the CD that you have over there?
Yes, yep, so they did include the media, yep, or the,
Attachment C. Yeah, they have attachment C. Required certifications, whether there's required certifications.
that's actually listed, I listed that as a separate question. That's the number 2.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
included again for
Yeah.
content, so we meant that.
Must include the following information: cover, letter, 2 pages. in length. Looks like they meet that. Any addenda, they acknowledge that, see that. Top of the page, there was no addenda issued. Respond, request.
Second page,
We
1A,
read
B,
the-
and
yeah,
C.
1B is good, 1C is there. Specific statement.
It's got his,
Yeah, 1D is there. 1E is there. 1F.
David Billings got his MCPPO last 2 weeks ago.
Looks like they meet all of that. One, requirements of contest issue one.
So I think, so 2, actually, I should have cut that out because that's really what we're
We're
going to
gonna
get at
be
with the
doing anyway,
criteria.
yeah.
So if you want to, just number 2 there where it says selection criteria, you can just say, yes, they've met it because it's there. We'll then evaluate whether or not they have. And there.
So we ready to go through the
I think they're-
evaluation?
Yeah, their
So the
proposal
content
is,
requirements have been met.
yep.
Yep.
So I think we can say,
Did the
That-
firm meet the minimum requirements as listed in the specifications? Yes, right?
so I'm saying 1, 2, and 3 are all yes. So this is, Hill International is a responsive bidder.
Do we want to label them as, like, if that number 1, just give it a number, so if we refer, I mean, we can always refer back to Hills International, but, you know, firm number 1.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
put a little number to the left
Yeah.
up in the
Yeah.
corner. I always find it easy just to number things.
So Hill International Firm 1. All right.
Okay, so-
So now the job is between pages 1 and 2 of the cover letter and pages 1 and 13 of the body to attachment A, C, where they've listed all of their detail. Now we're going to go through evaluation criteria 1 through 11, and you're going to give up to 5 points for each. For example, 1A
It's 5 points.
is 5 points. If you think they did halfway met it, give them 3 points. Better than half, 4 points. Full criteria, 5 points. That's the way that works.
If they missed it, it's 0.
If they missed it completely, it's 0. So it's sometimes a game here to try and figure out. You have to, what's the term I'm looking for? You have to be very critical. Because if we're giving 5 points easy for 1A and 5 points easy for 1B, then next time you're going to give 5 points and give 5 points, and we're going to end up with 5 firms.
Everybody's
That's a tie.
That's a
Same,
school
yeah.
teacher talking. Yeah,
That's-
Don't give too many A's.
Don't give too many A's.
They have to
That's
earn
what-
it. They have to earn it, right?
I find it, excuse me, difficult to evaluate one individually as opposed to looking at all 7 at the same time and saying, okay, number 6 obviously has, merits of 5 versus 3.
Yeah, this one doesn't compare well to, yeah.
That's what's going to happen anyway, because I know when you start going through here, the first one, you graded maybe a 4, and then when you start seeing the others, you say, oh, that one there is a little bit better. So I don't know whether we can come back to these and look at them again, because it takes time to really absorb all the information that you need to put in there.
Exactly.
So
and
I think you
don't
just
see
got to...
where,
You can't really look at all of them at the same time, because you just, I mean, you're going to get to them anyway. I think you just got to take your best shot and in your mindset, the criteria that you want to evaluate it. So if you're a hard marker, I would say just keep it that way consistent. If you change your thought process during the process, then you're going to have that influx in numbers. So I think you got to take them one at a time. And then when you evaluate the whole process at the end, you might be able to adjust it a little bit here and there.
I was going to say, there's no governing how we do this process. We do this process how it works for us. If this was a formal sealed bid, very restricted.
Yeah. Right.
For this, we can say we're going to take them one at a time, and then we're going to go back and Larry's going to say, I want to go back to 2 on Hill International, and I want to adjust it down to a 4.
And
Do we
you can
all
do that.
agree? And we say yes, because we have to come to, literally, we're going to submit all of our individual forms to the MSBA, and then we're also going to do a collective. So we're going to have 5, and then we're going to say, do we all agree for 1A, we're giving Hill 5 out of 5.
Right.
And after the first one, we say yes.
We all
But then we
have
can
to
go back
agree,
to those
yes.
7 collective and say, you know what, I want to adjust.
I would think it would be just the opposite, where we would all individually grade however, and then come up with, we'll say,
A total.
a total.
Yeah.
I might have hit number 1 as a 90. Joe might have them as a 95. But as long as we're consistent, I think coming up with an overall, we all agree that it's a 5.
I mean, the other approach is too, somebody might grade it as a 5 and somebody might grade it as a 3. Big difference there, but that's their thought of what they thought the information was there. I think when you get down to the bottom line at the end, you could look at the overall whole thing. I don't think you have to go through each one.
That's true.
So at the end, yours might be 95 and you might, say 90 and you might be 95. So that 0 and the 3 in the beginning doesn't mean anything.
But we're
Overall-
basically saying that we all agree that we all come up with the same score.
No, I don't think we should do that. I think at the end, we should see who came up 1, 2, and 3, 4 and 5 or whatever, and then collectively say that we think that these companies should be the top 3, not go back to individual criteria, although we may say the reason why it's so high or so low is because they did a better job in this particular line item. We can review each other's review by the criteria, like item 1, I had it as a 5 and you had it as a 3. And then we could say, okay, does that make the difference in the bottom line? You need to find out where the big swings were. Why did this one come so high and this one come so low?
I want to take off the table what I suggested, because then technically what we would do, which I agree, is if I come up with a 95 for Hill, and you come up with a 90, and you come up with an 87, and we can total them and say the total should be 500. They're at 479. So that's the total. We'll keep a master list. They're at 479. And then at the end, we can go back and say, here are the top 3 of the 7. We might all say, absolutely.
Those were the 3
We
we
agree,
had.
those are the 3 standouts.
But I would think based upon the scores, my top 3
Might be not my
may
top
not be
3.
your top
Yeah.
Right.
3.
So but collectively, when you take the 479, these are the top 3, you might look and say, hey, I only had 2 of those. My third one is not here. And then we would look at yours and say, okay, maybe we should have upped the score or down the score, whatever. You can play with that at the end. I think you need to collectively see what it comes out, spits out as, and then go back and review and make sure that the top three are what we all agree on. Does that sound right?
I think so, because then we can take, going back to your original question about if you wanted to adjust from a 5 to a 4, because you saw another firm, you saw what a 5 really looks like now, and you want that to be a 4, if you've got your 7, you can go back and adjust. And then we don't have to tally them until the very end. So if we take, we're now looking at Hill International number 1. We go through, and maybe I come up with a 97, Chris comes up with a 96, Dennis has him as 100. We put it aside, okay, we all done with Hill? Great. We put it aside, we get the next one, and then as I'm going on to, I don't know where the next one is from, I've got my Hill International still sitting there. We go through, we make sure they qualify the minimum requirements, move on to it. Maybe
Yeah.
I have them as an 85. Put them here, okay, and then I go back and say, okay, I might need to adjust those things. And then when we're done with all 7, we can tally my 95 plus Dennis's, so for each of them.
Right.
Then we come up with, that'll give us
Yeah.
of the 7, the ranking, and then we say, if your number 1 was number 7 overall, then we say, okay, we have to have a discussion. Why did you have them as the lowest and we all had them as high? So I think the starting point, if we all rank them individually, come up with the total tally, because it's the total tally of points, that then allows us to go back and adjust.
Right.
Do we want to be able to keep our own, tally of, like, say, Hill International over here? So as we do the second one, and as Larry said, geez, I might have graded them too high on this one because this one's a little bit better. You could go back and do that?
I think so. I think it makes
And then
sense to
at the
keep
end, we
all
pass
7
them
of them
on.
in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you can
Range it.
adjust, yep, that's a
Right.
real 5, I had them as a 5, that's now a 3, and you can adjust them accordingly.
So you basically did what you wanted to do, was just go back and adjust it, by a different approach that you're taking on it. And then at the end, we say, okay, pass them in and tally them up, and then we can see where the top.
Yeah, and I think we can just keep them all in front, I'll have a master sheet, and we'll say, master, firm 1, Larry, what did you have? And we'll just, because again, we're going by the time we're tallying that total number at the bottom.
Right.
So,
Right.
Do we want to, and I'm just on the top of my head, as we review these, do we want to each say, okay, we're going to do number 1, and instead of, okay, we're all done, and go to 2, as opposed to, we all just go through all 11, and some guy is slower than the other, kind of, move the pace along, okay, we're going to review number 1, we'll give you like 2 minutes or something to do that, and then we'll go on to 2, 3, 4.
I think that's reasonable
Because
I
because
see
otherwise
what-
I'll be sitting here and I might be,
something might interest me more than it may you.
Yeah.
And I might focus on that more. Maybe collectively, we can move through this. We're getting
You know
all
what
the
I'm saying?
facts.
I was gonna say, at least for the first one or second one, see how that goes.
And if we.
Because we can ask questions too, if I'm
Yeah.
saying, okay, where are you looking to figure out
Yeah.
1A?
Just the format, how these are presented to us.
Yeah.
This one so far, just scanning a few pages, looks like it's following the letter.
Yeah, which
She'll make it easy.
They all should.
their job is to not make it a lot of work for us.
Yeah.
Their job is to provide
So-
a 20-page document that says, we gave you everything in perfect detail, so you don't have
In
to go
perfect
searching
order.
for it. Yes. So that certainly gets to the responsive. So if that works, let's go ahead and do 1A and B, and then
We can mark these up.
absolutely.
Can you throw me over one of those magic markers?
You want a highlighter?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Any color's fine.
Anybody else
Yeah,
need a
thanks.
highlighter? Available.
Their highlight? I'll
Yep.
give a highlight. Thank you.
Okay, we have a $30 million value.
10 to 30, yeah, it was a wide open range.
messy on the phone.
I'm telling you, this is gonna
We
be,
should just cut.
this is gonna be 10 o'clock fall asleep TV. Can I point something out as identifying how to describe someone as non-responsive, or at least not good attention to detail? If you take page 1 of attachment C.
Off there. proposal?
Yep. So 1A asks about, details from attachment C. Project name, location for which firm is filing.
Oh, it's for the-
The Maria Hastings Elementary School in Lexington, Massachusetts. Pretty sure we're not talking about the elementary school in Lexington, Massachusetts. So,
Yeah.
I don't think that makes them non-responsive. It certainly makes me question their attention to detail.
May of 2008, too.
Which one was that talking about?
It's page 12 of
Page
the...
12.
May of 2008 is above it.
So I will say this, that's a form. So
Okay.
that OPM, see where it says Owner's Project
Yeah.
Manager Application Form, May 2008?
That's-
This is a MSBA form, so that's a revision, so that's accurate. But
They did get Triton into number 5.
I saw that, yes. The logo, anyway. If they had a Lexington logo in there, it would have been.
Yes. Just ask questions on page 14. If I'm looking at number 7, you're looking at column C is project dollar value. And F is the original construction contract value. So is C the final value after their? Is that the way you're reading it, or?
Which one is that now, John?
I'm looking at page 14.
Yep.
Down at the bottom, 7A. Column C says project dollar value.
Yep.
And F says original construction contract value. So if they put out an original contract value for 29 million, did it come in at 38 million? Is that what that's saying?
No, because the change orders, see the next column, G,
Right,
is just shy of 40,000, or 400,000, 399.74.
But
right,
that's-
So.
So where does that end up at 10 million over?
right.
I don't know. So there's, I mean, the total project value is everything.
Okay.
Is design, is study, is the total, the whole thing. You know, certainly OPMs, architects, engineers. So, you know, all of those, you know, moving down to the Rumney Marsh and Revere, you know, the original contract is 24.5, and they had 2.2 million in change orders, but that still doesn't get you to the 32.6, so.
Exactly. I also have a somewhat of a problem. My wife taught at the Paul Revere School.
Oh, really?
Of course, she's been retired for 14 years, so that's no longer relevant.
Yeah, my understanding is the construction is the construction. Literally, when you hire the construction firm, that's the actual cost of building it. I'm not quite sure where you would get $10 million of other costs.
Right.
keep going through that section, Joe, when you get to 7B, where it asks specifically which the project that this principal, this OPM that would be serving was the lead on.
Right.
It then goes to original project budget, final project budget, a little more
Right.
clear. But you can see the difference. So I think that prior section has to be all costs included, not just the construction.
You guys got a little work.
In attachment C, are the only MSBA projects, are these all MSBA projects, or are the only ones that listed in the front of the bush of the,
I think they're all MSBA. 'Cause
they're
it's
all MSBA?
Yeah.
So the ones that are highlighted in the front
I think that's
are in
just a
addition
snapshot.
to these? Okay.
Because they had to keep within the 20 pages. I think they'd be happy. I mean, multiple times it lists, you know, a company the size of Hill International, could go on and on, so. So where are you all at with 1A and B?
I'm done.
You done? Am I feeling like we can?
I'm done.
So a question, does it make sense to just try and calibrate a little bit with what we're thinking and seeing?
I think we need to go further. And then-
Just keep going?
And then
Okay.
maybe at the end, come back and
Okay.
talk about the whole thing.
Very good. All right, so moving on to number 2. Safe to say 2 and 3 go rather quickly.
Yep.
I'm moving on to 4.
I'm on 4 as well.
Yep. I'm on
On 4?
four.
Okay.
Where are these? R-O-W, are they going?
Just pause and say one thing. So just to clarify, the purpose of the interviews will be to ask questions that will get at what they're writing here. So we're not going to be creating any new criteria. We're going to be saying, here's the criteria, here's what you said, say a little more. So we'll agree a list of questions that we want to ask that are basically
Each one, ask each one the same questions. I think,
Absolutely,
so,
there will be, whether it's 5, 10, or 50 questions, we will ask all of the respondents the exact same questions, but we'll be getting at the same criteria.
I'm hoping that the other ones are somewhat different in their management approach. I'm really having a hard time with this project, understanding that it could be renovation of the existing school, renovation or addition of the existing school or new construction.
What page are you on?
On page 5. And again, at the bottom of page 6, it says, "It is possible that this project will include the construction of a new building."
Yeah.
It isn't.
Well, I mean, I
They
think...
don't know that yet.
They don't know that yet, because again, what they will arrive at, an OPM will say, everything's still on the table. We understand you don't have another location, the structure is good, the footprint is good, we're working within it. But if they get to a point where it's more cost-effective to rebuild a new building there, it could actually end up being cheaper.
If-
We all, none of us plan for that, but that's something that they're gonna say, we will give you that data.
If you read page 7, problem-solving example, that answers your question. It was the Middleton School. They were debating whether to move the school, whatever, and you read the whole paragraph there, that they came up to the conclusion, actually, that they had to rebuild the school, but they kept it at the same location. So that's their methodology of determining whether you need a new school or just a renovation. I think that's their approach. And that's what we want all of them to look at, I think, anyway. Because I think there is some number that eventually, if it gets to a certain number, it's more than 50% of the value of the school, the MSBA, I think, decides to demolish the school and build a new one. So, I mean, that's the process that they'll go through.
Even at that, I knew I read it somewhere on page 5, Joe. That first paragraph, project understanding, the final sentence of that paragraph. Trying to find where I read it. Our team understands the need and priority for the owner to stay at the existing site within the existing footprint and bringing the building up to modern standards.
Right.
So they've acknowledged that. They're just going to say to you, the reason why we're studying is because
Right.
we just
We
don't
do
know
want
until we
to
start digging in.
Evaluate
Yeah.
and give us all, yes.
we're just gonna move right along.
I think just folks are just, yeah.
next one?
You gotta wait.
I would just offer a comment that at this point, knowing that we have OPM to pick for the police and fire station, that this is going to provide invaluable information.
Yes.
Came at the right time.
That's right.
Came right at the right time.
Perfect time.
When do you, what's the timeline on that process?
Yeah, well, we
Now.
haven't set our, yeah,
Should we make a note here too, that if you wanna, I mean, we're going 1 through 5 or 1 through 10, we can split, like 9.5 or something?
I've done some
'Cause-
0.5.
Yeah, because I think if we all put 5s or 10s or whatever, we might have I mean, not that a tie wouldn't be or out of place, but I think if you want to split them, you can split them too.
I think you're, yes.
I would
think
say
that's valuable.
to 0.5. We'll keep it
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
5/10. Not,
4.17.
yeah, no more, eighths, like a mortgage, 3.875.
We're gonna be here all night.
The what?
The original specs.
Yep, right here. These? We all done,
I
or?
think we're good. 1, 2.
Break open the second one. Who's buying lunch?
I know, huh? I think number 2 is going to go a lot faster. Maybe that was wishful thinking. Number 2 is Atlantic Construction and Management.
Atlantic.
Atlantic. Full disclosure, we had experience with them on the Triton project.
We'll label this one number 2.
Yes.
I'll do that for you.
That's good.
Yeah, keep it. So I guess we're looking to make sure that they meet the 2 up front, which is the
Minimum
be
requirement.
certified public purchasing officer program, and that they're registered in the Commonwealth of Mass. Looks like on page 2, is where we certify that the proposed project director OPM meets the minimum requirement of qualifications. Is it, usually you go a little bit more than that, you don't
I would
just
think so, yeah.
take no exceptions. What do you think about that? I mean, do they list them anywhere?
That's what I was looking
I mean, if they don't list them, then I would say that that's a question.
Yeah, I think they do.
They shouldn't put a name there or something, but
I think this, there were certificates here, towards the back, right before.
Page 9. Yeah, on page 9, it's Sarush Bagatai.
Bhatia, yep, Suresh
Yeah.
Bhatia.
He's a PE, so I guess he meets that requirement. And the forms should be in the back.
So the 4 additional forms are there?
They are, looking, yeah, they're in the back.
Yeah, certification.
Non-discrimination certificate of inclusion
Way
statement.
at the back.
Okay.
Yep.
All ink or typewritten, presented in an organizing clean manner, must include C, which it has, must include all required certifications. There's no addendum, so I just acknowledge that now. but-
So we're all agreeing that they have not.
I'm not sure yet.
Going through the cover letter.
Yeah, they don't have the contract, they haven't, description of response organization, it's history.
Here's a contract statement. We read the RFS with all its attachments in the standard contract and taken up extensions. ACMI also agrees to execute any amendments. Number 4.
They meet the criteria, I think. Specific statements. I think he does, right?
I think he does, it's not.
Yeah, it says in order to be eligible, we found a certified attorney that meets the following criteria.
Yeah.
And he does, he
It
states
doesn't
his
miss-
name, he's the project director.
Yeah.
He's
Doesn't
certified.
articulate it as nicely as Hill did, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think all 3, yes. All right.
This submission has the MSBA projects asterisk on the
Yeah.
attachment.
All small projects too, right? All small projects. 1.7, 1.6, 3.5. Is there a conflict of interest with Mr. Crowley? I just see he's on the Massachusetts State Board of Building Regulations.
Yeah, I thought that, but I mean, there's gotta be something that's been documented. They've been doing it for, he must have disclosed that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's clearly not.
Yeah,
I think if it's disclosed, it's okay.
that's the guy you want on your team.
Yeah. Interesting. Management subdividing, working it out and pulling some under 30B and.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's all about construction.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if anyone's noticing this on this one. This is all about construction.
There's nothing about the
They're not
approach.
speaking to approaching how to study it.
Yeah, what they're gonna do specifically, other than just, construction meetings and I see
Which
that
is-
too.
A concern.
Whereas the other applicant mentioned different
Very clear.
options.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it's all construction.
Brian, can I see the financial statements?
Everybody's sleeping right now, probably.
I hear snoring. Care to
Yeah.
review the financials?
Oh, can I see the financials?
There's a copy for everybody, I guess they're all
Oh, is there actually?
copies, yeah.
Yeah, they're all the same.
We probably should
Oh.
just take one, maybe.
Are we ready for number 3, or we're still?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Someone didn't mess with the tab.
Another one.
Christmas. So number 3 is going to be P3, Project Planning Professionals. Side tabs. We have a winner.
This will be number 3.
Yeah.
So he's going to qualify over the 7 years' experience, I guess, right? He's not registered.
So he's got Steve Habib, lead designer, registered architect. So yes to minimum requirements. Yes to 3 forms.
4 forms, right?
I'm sorry, 4
Yeah,
forms.
he's got 4.
Extra brownie points for tabs.
Yeah, okay. So it looks like it meets all the requirements. Meets it, right? It's got the Form C.
I would say yes to the content requirements. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Here we go. The last one was about 25 minutes. This one we'll do in 22.
Yep.
Getting quicker each time. I thought it was noon already. Joe, you'll pay particular attention to pages 15, 16, and 17, where you see a lot of under budget.
Yes, I saw that.
Where's section 10?
Section 10?
Yeah, there's.
Supplemental information,
Yeah,
section
there's
10.
a section 10, I saw that.
You can see this is section 6. Motion.
Going back to the original qualifications, I hadn't checked this at first, but the content requirements say that The total length of the response, including attachment C only, but excluding attachments A, B, and D, may not exceed 20 single-sided numbered pages with a minimum acceptable font size of 12 point for all text. The letter well, I guess, okay. He starts on page 5. Five to 20. But he's got supplemental information in here. That technically takes him outside the 20-page cap.
It's 20 pages?
Yeah, so the
Single-sided?
selection criteria is 20
I didn't
pages.
check the other ones. Did the other ones?
Yeah, they
do
meant
as well?
that, yeah.
I didn't count them. How many are there in this one? I mean, is that something, a waiver, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's minimum selection criteria, so.
So this is section 10, but it's not identified as such, right?
Well, section 10 is supplemental information.
Right. Okay, so it isn't identified as section 10.
You know, so I mean, technically he hasn't met the requirements if he's referencing additional sections. If he's referencing additional sections of pages and not keeping it within the 20, this is where we're supposed to be very strict as far as minimum requirements.
So it's 1, 2,
So the management letter, or the cover letter can be
Must
separate.
certify, it's covered.
So he's got everything in the letter, and then he's pages 5.
Says any response that fails to include such certifications demonstrates these criteria have not been met will be rejected without further consideration.
Yeah, so that's definite, but then,
Yeah.
under selection criteria, the response shall address matters. And it says it may not exceed 20 single-sided numbered pages.
It didn't say shall, it says may. So, I mean, is that a difference? I mean,
Well, I mean, I think it says it may not exceed.
yeah. But if it does, there's nothing here to say that it's rejected, right? I mean, how many pages do we have? I mean, how many,
So we've got
you got all of C, right?
5 through 20, right? So that's
Well, just
16.
their numbering alone shows 26.
Right, but they numbered the cover letter,
Oh,
so you can take that out, so that's,
well, that eliminates
You got
4
7
pages.
through,
so it's
7 through
not
So it's
900.
22.
you got 13 on C alone.
Right, so pages 2 and 3 and 4 is the cover letter, so that can be separate, so let's see.
And there's 13 pages there.
So it's 13 total?
Yeah, because it's from 7 to 20, so it's 13. Then you have 1, 2, 6 pages, 3 pages double-sided.
So we have 16 pages total, and then the supplemental information.
3 double-sided, 6.
122. So it technically doesn't meet, because right at the top it says requirements for content of responses.
And how many do we have? 20,
22.
22?
And 6 of the pages are not single-sided. So what do folks want to do with that?
I don't know, I think we've gone this far, we'll just
Yeah, I mean,
maybe record it and take that into consideration as an
I
informality.
mean, my initial take of where I've gone so far, I don't know they're gonna be one of the top 3 anyway, so I mean, I think we should just take this one and maybe look at the next one and see where that goes, I mean,
Because technically, under the designer selection law, 149, any of them, you have to meet the minimum requirements.
Yep.
If you meet them, then you say you can go to the qualifications based.
which is the.
So this is the qualifications based that we're looking at each of the evaluation criteria. So if they haven't met the minimum requirements, technically, we're not supposed to be able to move on to evaluate whether or not they meet the specifications.
I mean, 22 is close to 20. I mean, I think we should consider it, and then if somebody else wants to throw it out, or let's see where it ends up anyway. I know we're not even supposed to look at it, but we've already looked at it, so we're halfway through. What do we want to do?
I think I mean, and I could pause and run down and check with another licensed MCPPO downstairs, and Debbie Egan, and just get her take on it as well. But in my training, my understanding is you
law is the law.
can't, the law is the law. And
Yeah.
it's one of these things where good firms get knocked out for minor technicalities, but that's what I would love to do, is run downstairs. If I can pause and go ask Debbie, or do you want her to
Yeah.
come up here and be part of this meeting, or? I think she'd be happy.
Pause and
All right, let me go consult with Debbie really quick and get her take.
So the question on the table is, there's too many pages.
Yeah, there's too many pages. It says, but I say it says may not exceed. It doesn't say shall not exceed.
Rip out 2 pages.
But I always play with the word may and shall. It says may not exceed, as opposed to shall not exceed.
Right, shall
Is
is,
pretty defined. you know?
yes, very legal.
May not, may gives you like flexibility, I think.
Right.
So it's some, right.
You think we're gonna complete this process today, or
This part.
you think so? 'Cause we had another 4 hours
He could be
of
on
work.
the class. Are you live? Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to call P3 Project Planning Professionals non-responsive. So for number 3, did the firm meet the content requirements? They did not, because they submitted too many pages. The requirements were that respondents were able to plead their case and make their case within 20 pages single-sided. They had 22 pages, of which 6 of those pages were back-to-back. So again, following the letter of the law, we have to call them non-responsive. So that was
Suppose you
number
could look
3.
at it as the unfair advantage, they have 2 more pages to.
Exactly,
Yeah,
that's,
so that's-
literally, it is an unfair advantage, because if others have to only use 20 pages, I'm sure all of them could submit 500 pages of,
Right, this was received on the 15th at 3 PM.
and this is Doran Whittier.
D&W. This is the other stuff.
I'll just put it right under.
And we are numbering for our listing for number
Four,
4.
number 4. So do we need to count the pages before we go?
Yes, let's count. So the table of contents would not count. They actually have it numbered correctly.
This is not looking good.
Did the same thing.
Yeah, we're like 100 pages here.
So, make sure.
We need to consult somebody in the state, you think, or?
Yeah, you got.
They certainly could have fit things more if they didn't make it so picturesque. We look at the previous ones.
Yeah. Can you give me that original specs that you gave me
Yeah.
earlier?
So that's 20 pages,
120 pages.
including attachment C, correct?
Supposed to be, yeah.
I don't think we're gonna have anybody left. You know, so far, just Hill International.
Yeah, Atlantic and Hill definitely did.
Yeah, Atlantic,
Yeah,
I think,
they
falls
both
within
had
the 20
14.
pages.
plus the 13.
So is that under content
Well,
requirements?
I gotta go back to page, so it says the supplemental, under that, it says respondents may supplement.
With graphic materials and photos that may demonstrate its project management capabilities of the team proposed for this project. Limit this additional
Atlantic has
information to a maximum
26
of
pages that I can
3 8.5 by 11
26.
pages. So if you take
So you can do an additional.
3,
So you can do an additional 3 pages of supplemental. So the way that Atlantic did it, there's their cover letter, then there's their 3 pages. Their 3 pages of supplemental, 3 single-sided, 3 double-sided. And then they get into their criteria. So you can have 20 pages plus 6 pages. So we have to go back to P3 because that's, respondents may supplement this proposal with graphic materials and photographs that best demonstrate. The problem is,
some of the pictures.
so what Atlantic did is correct. It says respondents may supplement this proposal with graphic materials and photographs that best demonstrate its project management capabilities of the team proposed for this project. So that's what they did. Hill did that. P3 used the supplemental information. P3 did do that correctly then. So I was incorrect. Well,
It's double-sided or single-sided?
it says, yeah, it says 3 double-sided.
Oh, double-sided, so they did use 3 double-sided pages, if you look at that. Past performance.
But they referenced on page 5, for example, management approach. See the OPM application supplemental information, section 10.
Which has got to be this page here, management approach right here.
Right.
Which is the 3 double-sided pages.
But that's not what, you're supposed to be able to do that on 20 pages, single-sided.
Including this.
So I still think they didn't. Key personnel. See the OPM application for the organizational chart and staff information.
I mean, you don't count this, right?
No, that's part of the cover letter.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's getting technical, but I still don't think P3 meets the requirements because they're referencing the additional material to answer questions supposed to be addressed in the 20 pages. So, So I'm going to stand by that decision that P3 needed to be rejected. And I think along those same lines, I don't know how.
Doran, what do you, would also have to?
Yeah, I don't know how we,
Yeah, I mean, they get a gazillion pages. How many pages do they have altogether? 30.
Over 40.
Yeah,
I mean, you could if you took out half the graphics and just took the literature, you'd probably cut it down by 7 pages or something, but they chose to put graphics in there as well. I mean, certainly you could have put all this on one page. So the unfair advantage is the graphics that they added to the,
yeah, so all of, pages in the 30s through the 30s, that's all.
this is the Form C, right, with all the pictures and everything.
Yeah.
So
In
if
Form C,
they just
C is
elaborated-
part of the 20
Yeah,
pages.
they elaborated a little bit too much with the pictures and everything. They've kind of, normally they were, what, 13 pages on the other ones? I mean, how many pages are these, just in Form C? It's, 1, 2, 3, 15, it's 15 pages. They added 2 pages to Form C by putting on these pictures.
Yeah, I don't know how we could not say this
I mean, if
is,
you did that to P3, you gotta do the same thing to this. It's unfortunate. I mean, if
so
we see that,
number 3.
this is
they
number
did not
4.
meet Content requirements.
This is number 4.
yeah, I mean, 1 and 2 did, and I think that,
Did 1 and 2 also submit the CD?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, everyone's done the media. P3, they talked about the financial statements. They included a little table, so that wasn't really financial statements.
Right.
It doesn't say, when you get to the criteria, it doesn't say, it says current balance sheet and income statements.
Yeah, you need to see numbers.
I don't think we could, other than a little table. So I think P3 is very clear. And I think unfortunately, Doran Whittier, the same thing. I think this speaks to the reason why we say it's got to be 20 pages, 8.5 by 11, because when you look at this, obviously this is incredibly impressive,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it gives them an unfair advantage.
If we see a pattern with the next one, then maybe we ought to,
Yeah, I mean, I think if we,
we can always go back to it.
yeah.
So right now, we still have Atlantic and Hill.
And Hill. Atlantic and Hill are still there.
So you're marking number
4 as non-responsive.
4 as non-responsive.
Let's say 20 minutes.
Say again?
Let's say 20 minutes. Yeah, this is Pink, P-I-N-C-K and Company, Inc. And this was received on the 15th, 6/15/2016 at 3:02 PM. Here's the financial. Here's the zip drive.
right, so number 5. Pink.
Well, this isn't gonna make it either.
Yeah.
No, so we got it measured here.
All right, so let's look. So we've got the letter.
I mean, you're gonna start looking at font too, I mean, you know, I mean, I don't think we're not gonna be doing that, but you can see that they use some small font in there to make things work too. I think that's number 12 font.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna make it either. Yeah, I think we need to
Well,
check with
so they've
somebody.
so there's the cover.
The font size is too small too, I think. If you put that on 12, it'd be even a couple more pages. That looks small. I could be wrong. Is that 12?
So taking font size aside,
There's 10 pages.
the evaluation criteria is,
There's 10 pages right here to Form C. So there's 10 plus whatever the Form C is.
which is part of the 20, right?
Yep.
So then it goes 11 to 19. So that's within 20 pages. And then additional information, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they met that. Appendixes, required certifications. Their certifications. So I mean, aside from the number 12 font, they met the page requirements. And honestly, it's one of those things where you reproduce it, you can tell this got like reproduced smaller.
Yeah. But, you know, if we're going by the law, I mean, this is not 12 font, so, I mean, if you made that 12 font, you probably, I don't know how many pages you'd add to it. Where were we with the total pages? 20?
They're right on for page content.
So they made it, they made
did.
it work.
They made it work, but honestly, if you look at the reproduction, you know, if you print something this way, in the reproduction, it's shrunk in.
But it's still not number 12 font. Oh, but.
So I'm saying, did they produce it in number 12 font, and then on reproduction, everything got shrunk up?
Another thing too is, depending upon which font you have, the 12 point can be, not all 12 points are the same height.
Right. I mean, I think that's one of the things we could fight and never prove. The number of pages is very straightforward.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think
I
that.
agree.
I don't think that this is, there's nothing in this where they're cramming tiny, tiny, tiny font.
Yeah, one of the charts is pretty tight.
And the table is,
Yeah, some of these tables are tight.
although I would go on record saying I'm not an expert in font sizing. So I'd say it doesn't seem like they excessively shrunk anything to make it fit.
I'm just looking at eyes, I mean, my eyes are, you know. I mean, this chart here is definitely like number 8, if not smaller.
What page you on?
Page 7.
Page what?
Page 7. I mean, it's just a list of names in the chart, you know, but when you flip the page, you can see the different font, see how, you go to page 8 and look at the difference. I mean, I don't think I have no problem arguing the font. I mean, the pages are what they are. I guess maybe we can just go that way and somebody wants to challenge it.
Yeah, I would say that's
Yeah,
what I
let's
was
just move
comfortable with. Move forward. Say that they met the requirements. It is responsive. And we'll go with that at least to start.
So we are deeming them responsive.
I haven't gone through the 3 questions, but at least number 3, we'll say, as far as the pages, I haven't gone through the exact content to say if it's got all the other pieces yet.
So this is number 5.
This
Yep,
is number 5.
Yep.
Yes. So I would say yes to the first 3 and call them responsive. Yeah.
Yep.
Number 1.